Hello again. Welcome to my shop. Today we're going to do, well, it's getting on to the fall and Halloween's on the way, and my grandson Max wants to be a wizard. And so we're going to do a Dumbledore type of a wizard wand. So stay tuned. We're just going to start with a fairly straight grain piece of walnut here. And I've started between centers, as I always do. No different when I'm in spindle mode or hollow form or bowl. No matter what, I always start between centers. And I do things a little differently than some, so hope you stay with me and watch it all the way through. Um, First of all, I'm going to go into the side of the tree and not go back and forth across the tool rest. When I'm going back and forth across the tool rest, I'm going to be going into the end grain fibers to some extent. So I'm going to make my sharp edge now go right straight into the side of the tree, and it's just going to be easier and more efficient. All right. To do the one, I'm going to start with the big end here and work my way down, and I'm going to take it in small stages so that I keep as much wood as I can for support, especially in the middle of it. Uh, just going to hog this off here and the side grain, and doing just a push cut here. Push cut uses the tip of the tool. Each pass that I make has a bevel support. The bevel directs it and peels away the shavings. The side grain shavings are peeled away. Much easier than going back and forth across the tool rest. Okay, the Dumbledore type of a wand, the pictures that I've seen has pretty random elements. Seems to be quite a lack of any continuity or of the shapes or design. So it's going to be pretty free flowing. I'm just going to plan it as or take it as I go and not do a lot of planning. There's going to be maybe about 6 or 7 elements here, but kind of unrelated to one another. The first thing you'll probably notice here is that I'm using a bowl gouge, not a spindle gouge. It's my go-to tool. I can do a lot with it, so if I want some really fine detail of some kind, I can switch to a spindle gouge, but the bowl gouge is more versatile, so I can do more things with it. So I'm still going to roll a little bead here with my bowl gouge, get down in here a little bit, clean that up. I'll clean that end off where the live center is a little later. Okay, go downhill to the fibers, so I'm going to go start from the top, largest diameter, and go down. Please check the comments section below. I've put the addresses for the Hunter and the Thompson tools so that you can go to their websites. Watch here the cut now. I'm going downhill with a push cut on that surface, and I'm going to transition to a pull cut where I'm actually riding the bevel on the side of the wing, a little bit on the top, higher than the center line, so that the bevel support's coming in from behind. Now I'm going to sand this as I go so that I don't stress the center of it when I get it down thin in the middle. I don't want to have to sand in the middle and do a lot of sanding after it's already thin. So I'm sanding while I still have support. I'm only going down to this is only a 220 grit sandpaper here because I want to leave a matte kind of a rough surface on it. I'm going to start here making the second element, which is going to be a different shape and different size than the first. I guess the only thing that's not random is that each large bulge of the elements are going to be smaller and smaller as I get my way down to the tip of the tool, and each of the smaller elements, the smaller diameter, each one of the smaller elements are going to get smaller and smaller as I get in there. So there's going to be some method to the madness there in the scale. Now here's that pull cut again with the bevel support on the side. Twist my wrist to make the cut happen and then pull it forward. It's like a planing cut. This is the same cut that you would see if you were using a skew. So I'm going to use a caliper. We're going to take the measurement from the first knob and make sure that the second one is a little bit smaller. And then we'll again measure the smaller diameter shaft there, and then we'll make that smaller as I get on to the second second element area. Please excuse the little noise, the little beep, blip, I don't know what you would call it. The microphone in my shop has some kind of a glitch in it, I guess. You can hear it here. So sorry about that. It's a little bit of annoying, but we'll try to fix that on the next run. So each detail, each element gets a little smaller as I get down towards the middle of the wand now. I'm about 2/3 of the way done, and each element gets a little bit smaller, as well as the shaft between them gets smaller. I suppose I should explain a little bit. This is a Professor Dumbledore wand. It was one of the main characters in the Harry Potter series. I don't normally go to very many shows, but this was a really good set of a series of shows that I did go to as they came out year after year. But the Dumbledore wand was different than the others. Okay, here I switched to a spindle gouge. Has a little steeper grind on it. I can get into this little detail under here and clean that up. I'm going to leave a little knob there that I'm going to have to carve away by hand, but I can make that surface really nice and clean with a spindle gouge. Okay, Professor Dumbledore had a wizard wand that was kind of rough and bulbous and kind of all uneven, so I kind of created one like that. So I'm going to texture this also, and I only sanded it down to 220 grit to give it a dull surface when I put some finish on it. I'm going to texture this a bit just to rough it up. I'm using a ball cutter that could make little dots in here. That's what the best I could see in the pictures were little texturing dots. And even when we're carving, we need to think about grain orientation. So I'm going to make the rotation of this cutter go sideways to the grain. I'm not going to go this way. That'll make it cup and grab and get into the end grain. So we're going to keep it side grain. And I'm just going to make little Okay, now I'm going to use a more of a sharp-cornered burr that will make little lines in a different kind of texture down at the tip of the wand. So we're just going to make little lines in there. Okay, we did it. Quick little project. Some texturing to just give it some roughness and rather matte finish. Just one coat of oil on it without any shine, the way that it looked in the movie anyway. So a little spindle turning quick project. Stay tuned for the next project, and don't forget to support our sponsors, Mike Hunter and Doug Thompson Tools, and we'll see you next time.